Hi everyone, please bear with us a moment till the others join and we'll be starting in 3 minutes time. Thank you.
Uh, yeah. Hello everyone. We hope almost all people have joined the meeting. A very good evening to all of you. Who are present here today. Our first session for the webinar series, organized by Sri Lanka Association for the Advancement of Science, Section E1, in collaboration with Physics Student Society of University of Kelaniya, will be under the topic of how to accomplish successful scientific research with minimum resources. Amasha?
Yeah, to start off session, I would like to invite Dr. Hansika Atapattu, President of Section E1 of the Sri Lanka Association for the Advancement of Science and lecturer at Department of Instrumentation and Automation Technology, University of Colombo, to give a brief introduction about Dr. Rosantha Kumara, the speaker for today.
Thank you very much. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of this class, I welcome all of you to this webinar. And it is great pleasure for me to introduce our speaker, Dr. Rosantha Kumara, today. Dr. Rosantha Kumara received the BSc in Engineering Physics from the University of Colombo, Sri Lanka in 2003 and the MSc and PhD in Physics from Kyushu University, Japan in 2009 and 2012, respectively. He worked as a postdoctoral researcher in the National Institute for Material Science from 2012 to 2017, and in Japan, Synchrotron Radiation Research Institute from 2017 to 2019. Currently, he is a special researcher in the Synchrotron X-ray Station at Spring 8 National Institute for Material Science in Japan. He is going to start permanent researcher position in the Center for Synchrotron Radiation Research from April 2021. In the last 14 years, his research has focused on understanding crystal and electronic structure properties on new materials, utilizing synchrotron radiation X-ray diffraction, anomalous X-ray diffraction, X-ray absorption fine structure spectroscopy, and hard X-ray photoelectron spectroscopy techniques. His current research interests focus on the characterized advanced functional metal nanomaterials utilizing various techniques and reverse Monte Carlo modeling methods. And he has published about 50 scientific papers in the reputed international journals and contributed to more than 100 oral and poster presentations at local and international scientific conferences. His today's talk on how to accomplish successful scientific research with minimum resources will be an inspiring experience, especially to young scientists who are joining with us today. So, ladies and gentlemen, please join with me for a warm welcome to Dr. Rosantha Kumara to deliver his lecture. Now it is over to you, sir.
Okay, thank you very much for giving me this opportunity. So first I will show my slides. Okay, today, so I'm going to talk about how to accomplish successful scientific research using minimum resources. Actually, today talk is, I was invited by the Colombo, I think, University of Kelaniya and SLAS, collaborated with the Student Society. Especially thanks for the Dr. Charit Jayatilaka. Actually, he was my friend, and he invited me to give me a talk in front of the young scientists and young. He wants to make, I think, young scientist community in Sri Lanka. Actually, for I'm also started my career from the University of Colombo as a BSc student, and also work in the Colombo University, and also work at the Kelaniya University. So during that time, so I was meet the many scientists in the Sri Lanka. Therefore, I'm really interested in my experience to the young society and also young scientists. Then they can accomplish such kind of scientific activity, and also in Sri Lanka and also in the world. So first, I would like to give my starting of the presentation like this. First, I want to show that how to success of any kind of thing, not only the research. And if there's some 7 steps to be success. So one is, for success, we have to think about some project. And next step is we need analysis. And next is planning. And if we plan, we have to try this one. And after that, we must start. And even we start, we cannot achieve our target, but we have to do again. And even we do again, we cannot achieve. So therefore, we have to keep going until we success. And this is the 7th step to go to our goal and successfully. So scientific research, not only the scientific research, but also any of the field. For examples, I know, this is the best example recently. You already all know about this achievement of this young, the musicians. He is very talented, but I don't think he is be a talented within one day. I think he did a lot of practices to be this achievement. So when I am really interesting about his talk, I found this kind of talk in his during this grand final. So let's first listen to his talk.
ගොඩක් හීන තිබුණේ එක හීනයක් පොඩි කාලේ වලම ගායකයෙක් ඉන්න ඒ ගායකයාත් නිකන් ගායකයෙක් නෙවෙයි මුළු රටක් ලෝකයක් කතා වෙන ගායකයෙක් ඉන්න තමයි පොඩි කාලේ වලම හීන දැක්කේ සෑහෙන කටු ගෑවා සංගීත වෙනුවෙන් තැනක් හදාගන්න අඬලා තියෙන සෑහෙන මියුසික් වලින් උදේට බරුණා සාහර දවසට හීන දකින්න ගායකයෙක් කියලා මම සින්දු කියද්දි මිනිස්සු කෑ ගහනවා මට හීනෙන් පෙන්නලා දිනවා මම මේ හීනෙන් හැබෑ කරගන්න සෑහෙන කට්ටක් කෑවා අනියම නෙවෙයි එදා ඉඳලා මට මගේ රත්තරන් යාළුවෝ ටිකක් හිටියා එයාලා මට හයියක් වුණා ඉස්සා හම්බ වෙන්නේ කොහොම කට්ට කාගෙන යන කාලෙක ඉතින් මං ඇප්ලයි කරලා සිලෙක්ට් වුණාට පස්සේ මං ආවා උදේ පාන්දර ඉන්නේ සමහරක් වෙලාවට උදේ නැගිට ගමන් කන්නේත් නැහැ ඉක්මනට මොන හොදගෙන මට මේ වැඩේට යන්න ඕන වෙලාව තවට ඉන්නේ වැඩේ කරන්න අනිවාර්යයෙන්ම වෙලාවට යන්න ඕනේ ඒ කැපවීම නිසා සමහර දවසට බස් එකේ නිදිමත ඉවරලා තියෙනවා නිදිමත ඒ මේ හීනට එන්න මේ තනක් හදා ගන්නවා කියලා තමයි මෙතෙන්ට ආවේ අන්තිමට මට හිරු කිරුල්ල හම්බුණා මම නිහතමානීව සතුටු වෙනවා මට ඕනේ ජනතාව දිනන්න ජනතාව මන් දිනවා මට ඒක ගොඩක් වටිනවා අද වෙනකොට මට එක පැත්තක් නෙවෙයි මුළු රටක් ලෝකයක් ආදරය කරනවා ඒ හැමෝම මට වෝට් කරා ඒ වෝට් එකෙන් තමයි මම මෙතන ජයග්‍රහණය කරලා තින්නේ මට ඕන උනේත් මම ඉන්න ටික කාලෙට අපිට ජීවිතය කියන එක කියන්න බෑ අපිට හම්බෙලා තියෙන මේ ජීවිතේ අපිට පුළුවන් දෙයක් කරන්න මම කරන්නේ මියුසික් වලින් රටට සේවයක් අවදායි දැන් ඉද
මම හිතන්නේ ඔයගොල්ලෝ මේ උදාර කෞශල්‍ය so we listen to this talk so I am really appreciate this young musician because he said he did a lot of works to get these positions and to this achievement so in my according to my opinion also so to get these positions in my experience I also did lot of sacrifices and a lot of hard working and so I think even if we need to be a scientist or musicians or any of the career so we need to do a lot of practices and a lot of works and so therefore I would like to give some message for you like this actually today's my message is for you to give for the young generations actually so you should work like this so if I speak in Sinhala so we have to say the katta kanna goal eකට යන්න මොකද ඇත්තටම කට්ට කියන එක තමයි practice කරන එක අනිවාර්යයි අපිට goal එකට යන්න in English we can say that sacrifice to achieve your goal and අනිත් එක තමයි ජීවිතය කියන එක කෙටි අපි දන්නවා නමුත් අපිට මේ කෙටි ජීවිත කාලෙදී ලෝකෙට කරන්න පුළුවන් සේවය අපි අනිවාර්යෙන් කළ යුතුයි ඒක තමයි උදාර කෞශල්‍ය කියන musicians එයත් කිව්වේ ජීවිත මේ කාලේදී එයා කළ යුතු කොටස එයා කරන්න ඕනි කියන. ඒ වගේම in English we can say life is very short. So during that short periods, we have to serve the world in many varieties way. So this is today's my message for you, the young, the generation especially. Right, let's go to my today's talk. Actually, today I would like to show my achievement because I want to share my experience with you. And I would like to introduce why scientific research is important and a research process. And also, I would like to give some tips to achieve successful research. And also, so I would like to show how to find the research opportunity, actually research jobs in the world. And because in the world, there's so many opportunities because young scientists, number of young scientists recently, I think, looks decrease, even in Japan. I know that many universities, they don't have enough PhD students. So this is the situations in the world because people's young groups and young scientists number is decreasing because people don't want to work hard. But today's my talk is I want to encourage young scientists, younger generations to work hard and achieve your target. Okay, first of if I said my academic achievement, actually I graduate, as you said, I graduate from the University of Colombo and engineering physics. So and during that time, actually I work hard and to get my goal. And after I did work in University of Colombo as a demonstrator and also Kelaniya University as a demonstrator and also assistant lecturer. So during that time, I had a chance to meet the Japanese professors through the Professor Kalinga Mudali and Professor Ruan Jewar. That time, he introduced me to the Japanese professor. So this is the opportunity I received to collaborate with the Japanese university like Kyushu University. And I moved to the Japan as a visiting researcher. And then I started my research career in the Kyushu University, mainly in the Department of Physics. So after that, I enrolled with a master's degree and carried out research on the materials like spinel materials using the synchrotron radiations. And first time in my life, I used synchrotron radiation in Korea. So I use a Pohang light source, and also I perform many experiments with the Pohang facility. Not only my samples, but also some another collaborations with some universities and also some museums. So my professor, he gave me an opportunity to work with some kind of ceramic materials. Actually, I'm very eager to work such kind of thing. I spend my time to measure the many samples, not only my sample. That is important. We don't want to focus our sample. We must do the many things. So this is my, that is my, I think, that is the way I achieve my target, and also that is the way I succeed my career. So therefore, if you have the chance, you should not focus only not your thing, but you have to focus many things to support others and other works. So during my doctor degree also, I carried out another material like glass materials. I learned another new technique, not only the conventional powder diffractions technique. I extend my career, my research ability to, and my research experience to the new technique like high energy diffractions using the reverse Monte-Carlo techniques and also pair distribution functions. This is not a normal conventional method. So this kind of new methods, so I think increase my ability and also my opportunity to extend the many kind of varieties of the new materials. And this is the opportunity I got the positions in in the synchrotron radiation in SPRINET. Actually, when I talked my career achievement, I did a 3-year academic job in Sri Lanka, as I said, in Colombo University and Kelaniya University. And also I had, after I graduate, I got an opportunity to join as a postdoc. So during that postdoc period, because this Dr. Osami Sakata is my supervisor. Actually, he is the director of this Synchrotron X-ray Station in NIMS. So he chose me because I did new kind of method to handle the glass materials. But his target is he wants to give another material like a nanoparticles, and he wants to study the nanoparticle. And he invited me, but this is not direct invited. He interview many persons and many researchers in the not only the Japan, also in other countries in China and Korea, but he chose me because he wants to give such a new task, and he thoroughly study my background, and he gets many informations about my career and when I was a student, and he talked with my supervisors, and that's the way I got this opportunity to join these X-ray stations. So I also, for you also, I advise actually you should learn and you should spend and work hard to do the new things. Then you had one day you had a chance to chance to go to your goal, like find a good research positions in not only in Sri Lanka, but also you can achieve, you can go to very reputed institute around the world. But you need a very work hard to do the new things. So after that, after I completed my 5-year working at these X-ray stations, I had an opportunity to join the Japan Synchrotron Radiation Research Institute. In that one, actually, this is also not similar study. I did another different study. This is the magnetic materials. I used magnetic materials. So this is not a easy material. This kind of material is very disordered and is thin films, very difficult to analyze. But we make another anomalous sector diffractions technique, and we make devices. And after I joined these projects, I had opportunity to make a device like to observe very good structure, even is disordered, but we make anomalous sector diffractions studies to find their structural properties, which is very useful to identify this enhancement of the magnetic properties. So this is what I did during that postdoctoral period. So after that, I had an opportunity to join as a special researcher in my previous position in the NIMS, and now I currently continue in the nanomaterials and also thin film materials. Actually, during these 8 years postdoc and research career, so I gained a lot of experience, and this experience achieved me to find the permanent position in Japan synchrotron radiation. This is so I'm going to start this job in April, this year, April. And so I hope there's a huge opportunity for me to work with Japanese reputed companies. And because my next division is mainly focused on the industrial application and partnership working with the companies in Japan. And so I hope I had an opportunity to work with a lot of research in the different kind of field, because in my opinion is I don't want to focus on very few things. I want to expand my area. Always I'm focusing different kind of research. I'm not going to the easy way. I want to find a very difficult and very harder. So therefore, I had opportunity to work many groups. For example, so during that time, actually, I want to say that when I while achieving my research, I also permanently live in Japan. So I am actually I succeed to make my status in Japan. I make my own house in here. Actually, I'm even I'm the foreigner in Japan. I can live as a normal Japanese here. And this is a very good opportunity. Even you go to the another country, so you should, as you heard about the news and also another sources, very difficult to live with the society. But if you achieve your work and if you work very well, so I think people are respecting you, and you should understand your environment, and you must achieve your goal, and same time you should familiar with the society. So society is very important to establish your life and also your research. So therefore, please, young generation, as if you want to succeed in the research and also your career, you should understand your environment, and also you should familiar with the society in the any country, not only the Sri Lanka. And also if you go to USA or any other European countries or Japan or Korea, so this is a very important point. So please understand this situation. And next, so as I said early, so I during my after I graduate, after I complete my PhD, so I had an opportunity to work with many research groups. And so during that times, I worked with the nanoparticles, with high energy X-ray refractions and X-ray absorption technique, and X-ray hard X-ray photoelectron spectroscopy technique. And as in my experience, this technique one field, only one technique, but they are very afraid to work many techniques because it's time consuming, and sometimes we need to spend a lot of time. We have to work hard, as Udara Kaushalya said, it's work hard is and katta karna. This is important. We must do so many works to achieve this kind of technique. And so I'm very happy because when I start this work, this is the very first time I did this research. And during these 8 years, so I had the opportunity to publish more than 14 papers. Now already we are preparing another papers, and already published 14 papers in this field. Because in 2013, I started this work with collaborating with Kitagawa laboratory in Kyoto University. This is they are the very pioneer and this nanoparticle the preparations, and they have many papers, and they publish so many papers during this professor is very expert in this field. But we had an opportunity to work with this group from 2013 and until now. So we have successfully published more than 14 papers. So in other field is, so I also collaborate with the Yoshimoto groups in Tokyo Institute of Technology. And also this is a thin film oxide amorphous thin films. So I did a thin film X-ray diffractions technique. Actually, this thin film X-ray diffraction technique is totally different with the high energy X-ray diffractions and normal powder diffractions. But in my so I want to work such a another techniques, not only focusing the conventional one. So this is we perform these measurements in our beamline, because in X-ray scattering, X-ray synchrotron X-ray beamline in NIMS is they have the tube hutch One is X-ray diffractions, another one is the Hux specs, that means the hard X-ray photoelectron spectroscopy. So we can use both these experiment facilities to perform our experiment. But we need, as a normal users, we need to apply the very competitive proposals, and so we successfully succeed these proposals and get a beam time for this kind of experiment. And also another technique is under samples is Galilean nitride in films. As you know that this is very recently Nobel Prize winner in the Japanese professor. He also started this one, and currently the NIMS is collaborate with this professor, and also we also had the opportunity to perform the X-ray diffraction and topographic measurements of these films, and we currently work this field, and so I collaborate these groups and perform the publish 3 papers in this here. In addition, our groups already published many papers. And another one is I had an opportunity to work with the University of Colombo and University of Kelaniya. So I supported especially Professor Jayaniti, and also Professor Siripala, and also Professor Ruan, and Dr. Jayatilaka. So they gave me samples to measure in X-ray diffractions and X-ray absorption, and recently I also measure the XPS. And actually, so I'm very happy to work with the University of Colombo and Sri Lankan University, because I always want to help to Sri Lankan community, Sri Lankan researchers, because this is the way I can do the support for my country. So I'm always ask them to collaborate with me, and so we already do the many works, and from 2013 we started this kind of works, and currently so related these samples and these measurements, so we published the 4 papers, and continually we are working together. So we plans to make a many research output using this kind of samples. And in addition, I also as I previously explained to you, so the magnetic materials I studied during my second postdoc positions in the Japan synchrotron radiations. So these materials I perform using anomalous X-ray diffractions technique, and also X-ray XMCD techniques and Hux specs, that means X-ray photoelectron spectroscopy technique. So this is a magnetic films, as I said. This is one of the biggest project in Japan is Kakenhi. We said the Kakenhi projects. So this one is collaborate with the NIMS and NIMS National Institute Material Science. They have this project. So I'm very happy to, and I'm very lucky to join with this group and continue their research. And for my actually during this postdoc research period, I work along in the beamline. Actually, if you say that, if you can imagine, if you work at one night, or if you maybe you know how to study at night and how to write your proposal or your thesis or your papers. So one day you maybe spend several days to work this kind of. But during these measurements, I had to work 5 or 6 days continuously along to get a experiment or measurements of these several samples. This is not so easy work, but I cannot waste my time, because in spray night 1 hour is very huge amount. The price is very expensive. If the company they use 1 hour, the company should pay at least 50,000 yen to the spray night. This is the value of this beam time in spray night. So during this experiment, I cannot waste my time, because time is very important and very expensive. Therefore, I have to work a lot of during this postdoc research period. So, but even I am very happy, because I spend a lot of time, and to collect the data, and I collect many kind of data, not only one sample. They produce they are actually like a restaurant. They are like cooking many samples. Like they prepare so many samples, and thing is, I have to measure all this kind of sample, and also we get several, I think, beam time, because we successful several beam times, and one beam time is usually 2 or 3 days. And my collaborator, they have combined maybe 5 days. I have to measure the 3 or 5 or 6, sometimes 6 or 7 kind of samples. So, but now after I collect the data, even I move to the next job, but my collected data is still analyzing, and they are preparing papers. And now yesterday also they published another papers. Therefore, these, even I am happy because I spent time, but I had to help them, and they to collect and study the many samples, and we can prepare the many kind of research papers and using my data. This is the way, this is the background of the research in this kind of institute. And also not only this, but also if you have opportunity, I think you can learn and you can collect the data without, I think you don't need to go to the big facility, but even you have the smaller facility, you can achieve the many I think research, very few, I think the resources. That's why my target also, because in my title I said that with minimum resources, because that important thing is you need to spend the time and you have to work hard to collect the data. And so later I will one by one I'll explain how to do this kind of thing. Okay, then let's go to the next slide. I will show one of my examples. Actually, my research. This is my own research performed at the SpringNet. So I did all the works from the only I received sample from Kyoto University, Professor Kitagawa groups, and so after that I collect all the X-ray diffractions data, and also X-ray absorptions data, and X-ray hard X-ray photoelectron spectroscopy data. And thing is, I did the whole analysis. This is totally different kind of analysis. X-ray diffractions analysis is totally different from the X-ray absorption analysis and hard X-ray photoelectron spectroscopy analysis. But for my feeling is, I want to learn how to analyze this different kind of technique. Because if I talk to some other researchers, they are really surprising because they just focus only one field. If they have the X-ray diffractions data, they just analyze the X-ray diffractions data. But as I don't know, maybe as Sri Lankan, maybe we have some kind of ability. So I think this ability is we need to work, or we want to work many things. That's maybe the reasons I touched the different kind of techniques. And so for this paper, actually I did all the analysis, and I performed all the research experiment and did the analysis and write my own paper. And so this is I'm really happy because this is in the Nature groups and scientific reports, and it was the top 100 in 2017. So I'm very happy because I had an opportunity. This is a because I'm very. I understand that my ability and also the value is my ability is this is the output of that I think the hard working. And next one is this is another paper. Actually, this one is just focus on the high energy X-ray diffraction technique. This is my starting of this sample analysis, and this is first paper in 2016 we published, and this is already citation, several maybe above 25 citations already there. So I think this is my starting of this kind of analysis in after I joined as a postdoc. And this is another research I did. First time I studied the hard X-ray photoelectric spectroscopy in 2013 and 12. After I joined as a postdoc in X-ray stations in NIMS. And so I'm happy about this one because even I start this work, so within 1 year and a half, so I had an opportunity to prepare my first paper on the hard X-ray photoelectron spectroscopy. And so once within short period, if we can make your own manuscript, and if it's published in the good impact factor journals, I think this is a very important. And so you can you will feel that how it's what's your how you feel that kind of thing if when we succeed such a when we succeed our works in successfully within very short period. So time is very important to achieve one of your goal, right? So then this is one of 3 examples I can show you to encourage your feelings. And so next, let's go to why scientific research is important. Okay, this research, I think this is some kind of definition of the research. The process of systematically and carefully investigating a subject in order to learn or discover new information about the world and its component. Because the process should be systematically and should be carefully investigated some subject in order to learn or discover new informations. This is in the world. I think the informations, I think here, everything in the world, we should discover. And there are almost, I think we have so many informations to discover. So there, I don't expect we know many things in the world, and it's maybe the 1% of the reality. So therefore, you had an opportunity, you had to task to discover the huge number of informations in the world. So my focus is mainly the material science, but I think even in the material science, we have to discover more than 90% or 99% informations in the world. So therefore, the research need to carry out more further, and therefore we need the scientists to discover these informations. But unfortunately, people, young generations in the world, especially in Japan, they need to get a job easily, quickly after they graduate from the undergraduate degree, and I think they are very lazy to hard work and do the PhD degrees, because they want to quickly to settle like after they complete their undergraduate degree. But my opinion is as a young generations, they should work hard to not only the work like smaller jobs, but they should work, they should learn, and they should find the new thing in the world which is not yet discovered. They have tasks to discover this kind of I think the still not recognized or not find information. This is a research, and research is really important to the development of the world. So next I would like to show the why research is needed and what are the benefits. Actually, the objective is research objective is one is so identify and classify the new problems and determine the risk factors or important issue such as behaviors, and so developing and testing new interventions for educational challenge, and also synthesizing existing knowledge so that it can be applied for the or others development or something. And next, this is one objective of one of example for that. And so what's the benefits? So acquiring new skills and develop technologies, the satisfying personal curiosity. That is why I explained several times, to work hard and do the experiment and collecting the data and preparing manuscript and publishing our research papers. This is the satisfying personal, my curiosity. Like this is the your curiosity, and you can satisfy as a person in future and after you complete your research work. And another one is a fulfilling degree, and this is what if you perform research, your undergraduate degree, so you can complete your degree if you've successfully carried out your research. And masters and PhD is research based only, so we need to definitely complete our research work and publish several papers and to achieve our PhD degree. Therefore, for the completing PhD, we must definitely complete our research work, and research is mainly important for the high studies, and therefore this is one of benefits. And another one is becoming a published author. So we can be an author if you complete your research work, and you can be the very for my career. So after I complete until now, I have nearly 50 papers I have already published, and this is because this is not finished for my career. So I have I think more than another. I have collected so many data, and I am already analyzing many data, and I have opportunity to publish more papers in the future. And therefore, this is, if you hard work, and you can be a very reputed author, and you can be big scientist. And as Sri Lankans, if you see the Sri Lankan in the world, there's a very good scientists, and they are very good authors. And so one day, if you work hard, you can be a good and very good scientist and very good author. And one day you should be a editor of the paper, some journals, scientific journals, and some people's can be a good editor in the journals. If you are published many papers, there's many opportunities in the world, and so you can increase your skills of the writing papers. This is the benefits of this kind of work. And next one is I would like to show research facility in the world. This is, I use a synchrotron radiation research facility as examples. because I want to show this is only focusing in the synchronous radiations, and in the world there are many research facilities. Each facilities, they had many opportunities to the young science, young generation, young scientists. They need a young scientists. They are, I think there are huge vacancies, because I don't think there are enough scientists to carry out the research. Even SpringNet, for my experience, I think they always hire the many scientists. They need scientists, and there's so many vacancies, but they cannot fulfill because number of scientists is not enough. I hope this is similar for the even in other facilities. They need more scientists to achieve and carry out the research in the many fields. So therefore, I hope this as example, I use the synchronous research, and if you see that this synchronous radiation facility is spreading around the world, and for I will show some video. This is a SpringNet, but unfortunately this is in Japanese a little bit. But I also combine with the Italian synchrotron facility to get some to give some idea about the synchrotron radiation. So please watch this video.
スプリング8は世界最高の性能と規模を持つ大型放射光施設です。この放射光とはどのような光なのでしょうか。放射光は赤外線から X 線までの広い範囲の波長を持つ光で、とても明るく強力な光です。加速した電子の進行方向を磁石などで急に曲げることにより人工的に発生させます。この放射光を研究に使うことにより、これまで見ることができなかったもの、例えば材料や生物などの分子原子レベルでの構造や仕組み、化学反応のような瞬間の動きなどを観察することができるようになります。
Let's have a look at the source of this light.
This is the English explanations about the synchrotron. Please watch a little bit.
Everything starts in the booster that shoots electrons and accelerates them at extremely high energy. An electron source is located in the first part of the booster. Here, charged particles are admitted by a metal electrode using a principle similar to that operating in the cathode ray tube of a standard television set. The electrons are guided inside a thin, circular, high-vacuum steel tube of 120 meters circumference through intense electromagnetic fields. They are then accelerated to 2.5 billion electron volt. The electrons are shot like cannonballs from the booster into the transfer line and finally injected into the storage ring, 260 meters long. Here they will circle for 24 hours without interruption, almost at the speed of light, and their energy will remain constant. During this time span, they will cover a distance equivalent to 4 times the diameter of the solar system. Synchrotron light is generated in the storage ring. The ring is, in fact, an alternation of straight and curved sections. In each curved section, a powerful magnet guides the electrons, forcing them to deviate from their path. Each time they deviate, the electrons emit energy in the form of light. The beams of light tangent to the storage ring are conveyed into the beam lines where the experiments are performed. Today, Electra has 23 operating beam lines, each specialized in a different field of measurement. This allows a broad variety of materials to be analyzed. The applications range widely from chemistry to biology, electronics, environmental science, materials engineering, medicine, nanotechnology, and archaeology.
Okay, right. So this is actually the one of the examples which I shows you, and in the how to generate the synchrotron radiations, and what is the example. And for in the bottom, actually I shows that the currently the using techniques in the synchrotron radiations, the photoelectron effect. Actually, we here the synchrotron radiations and their technique and methodology depend on the photoelectron effects, and the photoelectron emissions is here, and this is emergent technique, and this is scattering technique, and the reflections emissions and technique, the photoelectron absorption technique, and diffractions technique, and lithographic technique. This is one of the 7 examples we use, and our beamlines is previously shows the beamlines. Actually, previous beamline is mainly depend on this kind of technique, and there's some another techniques, and currently these techniques are very broad and very useful for the development of the research and also study of the material science. And so here is one of the similar thing which I want to show you. And here one of photoelectron spectroscopy. This is photoelectroscopy data, and also this is one of example for the absorption spectroscopy is to study the new age structure informations, and also the extend local structure informations. And X-ray diffractions, we can investigate the structural informations, the protein crystal structure and the crystal structure, and this is amorphous structure. So such is examples, and we can perform research and find the information about the material science. And here is what kind of technique we use. This is angular and also bending magnet. This is the technique what we use in synchrotron radiations in the optics. And here is so I would like to discuss what is the research process. Actually, research process is I categorize for the 8 parts. One is we must identify the problems, and second is literature survey. We should find the literature and read the literature, get information. And third one is questions, objectives, and hypotheses. And fourth one is choosing study. And fifth is theoretical calculations. So this is important part. And 6 is experimental and data collections. The 7th is processing and data analysis. And 8 and finally is writing reports and publish this. And this is a research process. So if we perform the research, we must cover these 8 sections. And a little bit now, I would like to give the tips to achieve successful research using according to the research process. Let's follow this one. So first, identify the problem in study. Actually, the most challenging part of the research project, but we must start the research and we must find the topic. So actually, as a tips, I would like, this is give the first one is we must target academic degree. It's maybe the bachelor degree or master degree or master of philosophy degree or PhD. But according to the academic degree, the research project can be vary. But we need to focus on the research based on your target degree. And next one is, so if you perform the research, you should discuss with your project supervisor, because if you want to do alone, but it is impossible, we need to perform the research, we need facilities and we need the guidance, and therefore it is very important to discuss with your project supervisor or experts, and then find the suitable idea and topics, and you can write a proposals for the research. And next one is focus your future research field, because if you do the research for your bachelor degree, but if you want to be if you want to get your PhD, or if you want to go to higher studies, then I think you should. So if in such a case, we must focus our PhD higher studies, but it's based on our bachelor degree. Therefore, if you perform a bachelor degree research project, please focus your future. It may be the material science, you are focusing on the material science study or computer science study or etc. So, but please think about your future before you choose the bachelor degree research project. For me also, it was very important to select the research during my bachelor degree, because still I am using that knowledge, and even I am doing the material science, but computational and another field also very, very useful. Therefore, your such information is please keep in mind. And another one is identify the available topics and choose most interesting one. Please choose your interesting one, because don't choose which it's very hard to you. Please use for which is you are interesting and very useful for you. And another one is please estimate possibility for following research output, because if you do the research, but please focus, get some research output, like you must write a paper or get a patent or present in the conference. This is very useful when you go to the higher study, or if you want to be a researcher. So this experience is very important, and this output is considered when you are enrolled in the master degree program or PhD program, or be another researcher in some institute or university, especially in Sri Lanka or outside in other country. And next one is literature survey. I think literature survey is very important point in the research. Collect many information related to the research topic. That is very important. So read and download free papers from open access journal. There's a journal which not free, but recently there's a trend in the journals. They are going to make many open access journal. Now people are even us, when we publish some papers, we are very interesting about the open access journal. It's for, as authors, we must pay huge money, but we had the budget, and we had our groups has the money. So my professor, my supervisor, they give money to publish in open access. So I also very prefer, and most of my papers also open access, because I want to get citations on my paper, and so some people very interesting about citations, and then they're going to the open access channel. Therefore, for you had an opportunity to read such a very high impact journals, and also free of charge. Please read and download such a paper and study and learn what you want, and keep relations with your research project, such reading such a paper and advanced papers. And another one is collect free books and make own virtual library. I will give some kind of hint. I think some the facility, like you can find a Sci-Hub and Library Genesis and PDF Drive. There's some way to find free books. Please download such a books and read very well, and continue keep your own virtual library. In my case, actually, I still keep my books when I read, and interesting virtual library. I make my own. I make a very nice virtual library, making the folders for different field and collect not only the science, also another everything I keep in my virtual library. So please make such a virtual library. And when you read some books or paper, please highlight it and make important points in your paper or books. And I think so in PDF, I think PDF DC, they have, you can store your PDF in the PDF driver. So such a way, please keep your readings continuously and highlighted and marks these important points. And another one is use free reference manager to organize and cite literature in efficient way. Because when you make a paper or manuscripts, so we need to cite what in the I think papers. In that way, it's very difficult to cite and make such a citations in when you write a paper. I think there's a free reference manager like a JabRef, and Mendeley is one of example. Please check this kind of free softwares to organize your literatures and papers. And another one is refer online free database materials information. So during your literature survey, if you study some materials, for example, the cupric oxide or cuprous oxide, such kind of thin films, or you are making some kind of nanoparticle or copper nanoparticle or something like that. So you need to study their crystal structure. In the world, in the many, some institutes, they organize, they prepare the free open database. This is a crystallographic open database is one of that. And NIMS, in our institute, we have the MatNav. This is a free database for the crystal structure and electronic structure. Please go to this database and download. Maybe sometimes you have to make a memberships, like you should just give your email address and make accounts, and free of charge you can use these informations. And please organize your such informations related to your research project. And next one is questions, objective, and hypothesis. Identify study questions and set research objective. I think for this purpose, make a summaries of paper and book using note tools. I think during literature survey, so you can read the papers, and I think this paper, and please notice a very important point and with their reference, citation name, and keep this kind of records. I think this is such a tools. Evernote, Keep, Acrobat DC please use these free softwares to organize and make a summaries and such a while you are reading papers. And next one is during your literature survey, please write an introduction part of research topics using, I think LaTeX is a very useful editing tools for the manuscript writing. Please get this kind of tools. It's free of charge. You can use at the Text Live and Mickey Text and Text Studio. So actually currently I'm also using this kind of LaTeX tools, not a Word, not a Microsoft Word or Microsoft Office tool. LaTeX is such a tools is very convenient and very easy to write your manuscript. And please start this kind of free things, and no need to waste your money or anything. Just this is very useful if you go to the PhD or if you go to some other countries. So, and when you want to, I think some the supervisors, my supervisors also really interesting about the LaTeX programs, and he encouraged me to write papers in the LaTeX. So therefore I study and I familiar with the LaTeX after I joined with the postdoc researcher in this institute. And also collect theoretical calculation informations. I think this is very important. So please collect the theoretical calculation informations. If you later I will show one of the example. So easily without experiment, you can you can collect the informations and you can perform some calculations. This is very important parts of the research. And next one is choosing study. And after we find the questions, then we must design the study. And this is the important part of successful research. The first, recognize available methodologies to investigate a subject to discover new informations of your research. And it may be the experimental and simulations. And next one is make efficient timeline and schedule. If you want to complete your academic degree within 2 years or 3 years, like a PhD 3 years and master's 2 years, then you must make a timeline. When I finish the literature survey and when I finish the designing and when I make first sample preparations, and such a timeline you should make to your academic period. And next, for this purpose, after you design or during design or before design, please meet the expert and discuss with them and discuss with supervisor and regularly and make your final final title or experiment. So this is very important because expert knowledge and their experience is very important for the successful research. And next one is for theoretical calculations. This is very important part for according to my feelings. Sometimes I miss this kind of thing during my study, but after I get a postdoctoral research phase, I realized that theoretical calculations and we can easily perform. If you need a very small computer or some computer facility, then there's so many free programs. And so I will explain like this: the study theoretical background of your research. During literature survey, please previously I also explained that one. Please study theoretical background of research and perform easy computer calculations and for find XRD pattern and also crystal structure information and 3D configuration model using free software. The proof is so you can, if you have the some kind of gold nanoparticles or copper oxide or something, some materials, so you can easily calculate the XRD pattern. And also the proof they provide such a facility, and this is a free software in the any Windows, Linux or Mac, any version is available. And next one is Vesta. Vesta is you can prepare the 3D configuration model and using Vesta, so easily you can see your crystal structure. And Atomi also another free software, also possible to make a 3D configuration models. So please perform such kind of easy calculations. This is which I miss during my study because nobody says such kind of thing for me. But for my experience, when I want to share with you, so I would like to introduce such a thing for you. And also carry out the first principle electronic structure calculations and molecular dynamics and materials modeling using the free open source computer codes. Quantum Espresso is one of free codes, and Siesta and LAMPS and molecular dynamics calculations. And so for this one, you need a little bit computer ability. For there's if you have some computer, maybe it's a laptops or whatever, so maybe you can easily install this kind of softwares, and it takes a time to calculate the data, but however you can perform such information calculation. Then this experience is very useful for your future research after you get a PhD or after during postdoc research or be another scientist. And maybe this experience is really useful. And next one is experiment and data collections. I think it maybe takes some time to collect the data using some experiment because you need some facility. But I suggest that perform experiment at your laboratory efficiently. If you have very small instruments, and maybe enough to start your experiment. So you can prepare samples, maybe its sample quality is not good, but however, you can perform the experiment and you can prepare the sample. So during your preparations, you maybe get to know about the behavior of the sample, with the quality of the sample. Maybe few changes of the parameters, you can achieve the very good samples. So I am suggesting that please use your available facility efficiently. Then you can be a successful, one day you can be a success. And another one is collaborate with local and international research labs. Like, for example, now Kelaniya universities and Dr. Charit is collaborate with me, and he's sending sample, and then so I perform X-ray diffractions and another XPS measurements and absorption measurements. So this kind of collaborations make very good. You can do the very good research, and with very good facility in other in the international and also maybe even in the Sri Lanka also within collaborate with other universities, you can expand your research project. And please find such information and meet the friends and discuss with them and your supervisors. These discussions and collaborations is really important to achieve our research and do the best research study. And also always discuss progress with project supervisor. This is very important. In my case, during my research and also during my PhDs, every week we meet our groups and we discuss I show my analysis and they give some suggestions, and this is really important. And during my postdoc career also, every week we make meetings and I show my analysis and discuss with, and very efficiently we carried out research and we published several papers, and it is very good for the success in our research. Therefore, discussion is very important point. And maintain your experiment logbook. I think everything's like not only experiment, even you feel some idea about your research, please note down in your logbook with the dates and title, subject. And this is very later, if you feel something, some missing or some, if you need to more details, then you can refer this kind of experiment logbook. So even in our case, every labs, we must, in Japan, every institute and every researcher should maintain their own log for the purpose of the so keep a log as an experiment. But this is a proof of your research. If someday has a problem, so there's a proof to refer the experiment logbook, and we can verify this day we did this experiment and this is our result. And so because in some cases there's some problem appear during research output and during some kind of research papers, they have some kind of questions, and that times the experiment logbook is very important. And in Japan it's necessary to keep the experiment logbook for every research, and they are carefully check this logbook every year. So this is very important for you also. And next one is processing and data analysis. So this is maybe, as I previously explained, that for my focus on the different kind of varieties, I think research, the methodology. So you must, if you're processing and data analysis, you should get some experience. This experience you can get by study by yourself, but I think most times consuming is please discuss with your senior or supervisor, and they have experience to handling such a data processing and also data analysis. Maybe you can get some idea about them, and so easily you can continue your research, and very efficiently you can get an output. Sometimes some new things you must spend the time, but if you have experience and such kind of the advice from the experts, then much easily you can achieve such a kind of analysis, because data analysis is very important part. You must do the data analysis correct way and with very efficiently and very precisely. So because when you publish these papers, reviewer asking about that kind of reliability of the data analysis, and such a in such a case we must explain the details of our analysis technique. Therefore, please follow that guide and properly arrange research output such as figures, tables, and summaries in the, I think PowerPoint is best media to arrange your research output before make a manuscript. And you store your raw and analysis data properly and label in the folders according to the date, method, or etc. I think this is important. One day, if you want to see some previous data, but you cannot, if you can remember this, where you keep, very difficult to see your data. Therefore, proper data storing is very important for good research. So this is really important, and this is you don't need to spend money or anything, but you need to organize your data properly and also maintain backup folder to your project. Please don't believe and your computers. Sometimes computers happen something, but in that time, if computer broken or something happened, you lost everything. So please back up your data in some other computer or other maybe hard disk, because now hard drive and external hard drive is very cheap, and you can store your data in 1 tera hard disk or 500 gigabyte hard disk. So such a capacity hard disk can be useful to store your data, and therefore you never lost your data even have something happen. This point is very important for you to keep continue your research very well. And the final one is writing reports and publish. So this is very important because your output is important for you to achieve your goal. And if you bachelor degree or a master's degree or PhDs, you must complete your research between periods, and then you can obtain your degree. So therefore, I think please prepare a complete story, as I said in previously in PowerPoint presentations, after you analyze everything and every process is finished. But before you writing your paper, you must completely make a story in the PowerPoint presentations. This may be your, I think, the defending presentation PowerPoints, but this should be including all the process like a proper title, introduction, and methodology, and experimental parts, and results, and discussion part, and summary, and also your reference. Please prepare this PowerPoint presentation properly, and before you go to the manuscript writing, and discuss content and conclusions with the supervisor or expert, and collect suggestion and comment. And according to this one, please revise your PowerPoint, or if you need to reanalyze some data, some mistakes, they will, this is, if you only your, I think by alone, don't go to the final conclusions. Please discuss with other, because their experience, their expert knowledge is very useful to accomplish such a research properly. And another one is discuss with your supervisor for research reporting methods. Maybe if you can have chance to get a patent, and also I think this is you can discuss with your supervisor if you want to apply the patents. It's very useful. And make a paper in your manuscript, maybe it's full manuscript or letter types. Please discuss with that kind of thing. And if you have a chance to present your study in the conference, your international conference or local conference, please discuss this point. And this output is really important for even you complete, but output is very important to complete your undergraduate degree, or this output is later is very useful to your next positions, or to go to the higher studies, or another job positions. This output, they are really concerned about this point. Even if I go to the post positions, they are checked how many papers you write within your academic degree period. And this is your first author paper or corresponding author paper, where they consider about this point. Therefore, please consider these points when you finish your research and make a first author paper or such, or patent, and conference presentations or oral presentation or poster presentation. This is really important. And next one is preparations of the manuscript submissions. Please consider journal for the publications. And because usually journals, they get a publication fees. Sometimes maybe you can find the free journals, publication free journals, and also consider about the impact factors of the journals, and also consider about the journal format. Maybe you can find the LaTeX format or Word. They have provided both. And also final manuscript. If you prepare the final manuscript, you need cover letters and supplementary files. Please prepare this kind of for the manuscript submissions. And this is complete of the which I discussed of the tips of the this 8 process of research. And next, I will show that how to find the research opportunities, because research opportunities is for your I think for the PhD, as you know that PhD positions usually it's some kind of, some places it's considered as a job, but some places it's considered as like academic work. But if you prefer to go as a jobs, I think there's many opportunities in the world. And actually there are a large number of vacancies in the science job in the world, in the reputed institute and universities and companies. And so here actually I list out 3 sections. Most important item to go to the higher studies or jobs is identify your interest field in future with ability and skill, with your ability and skill. Because if you want to be the material science researcher, if you are interested about some characterizations, or if you want to grow samples, I think, for example, National Institute of Material Science, they are interesting of the people who interest of the material science. Because if you are interested in such things, maybe you can communicate with this some the researchers in there and some directors. So if you have some skills, they will consider give some jobs like a PhD. And they are collaborate with some universities, and they offer job as a PhDs. And these PhD students, they work in the NIMS and study in the universities. They are continue. They are paid, and they have good salaries, and they can very I think very useful to complete their PhDs with the jobs. And another one is so many number of research achievement. That means if they offer some jobs for you, but they'll consider how many papers you have, or you have patent, or you did the conference or presentations on oral. So this is very useful. And in addition, please complete TOEFL, IELTS, or English skills, improve your English skills. And also, as you know, that the GR and general GRE and physics is also very useful. And in another one is find information. The information is so now in internet you can easily find such a jobs positions in the PhD jobs. After if you are complete your PhD, if you want to go to postdoc positions, you can easily find jobs in the maybe one example in academics.com, ResearchGate, or such kind of ways. There's many informations about the jobs. But I think to achieve or get a jobs, you need as I explained, that you need many achievement. They consider achievement because it's the base on the to show your ability, and this is a way they measure you. And there are so many scholarships and fellowship in Japan. JSPS is one of scholarship portions, and they offer foreign students come to give good salary and as a scholarships. And this is very good methods to come to Japan as a as a PhD students. And also USA, as you know, that TA and RA is available. And also in German and some other the European countries also, they have some opportunities to do as a jobs, find scholarships and do your PhDs as well. And in addition, please discuss with your supervisors or seniors and friends about such information, because they know their friends and their experience, they have some links. Then you can easily find such a questions. And because in Japan especially, they if I introduce somebody, so they believe that person, and they offer the jobs for them as a postdocs or PhDs or something like that. And in another way is direct communications with appropriate resource persons or professors and direct. Please write emails to them and show your interest and communicate with them and study their what kind of field they are doing. And such a way is another possible method and get informations. And next one is application documents. So recommendations letter is very important. If you go to the some questions, so you need a good recommendations because the other persons, they don't know anything about you, but they believe that your recommendation from the seniors professors and your lecturer or supervisor. And another one is please collect the application document. Maybe now easily we can download from the internet or request printed documents. And next one is the project proposal. Please write a proper project proposal. For this purpose, maybe you have to communicate with your host institute professors and make a discussion with them and make a proper project proposals for carried out your research in the future. And letter of motivations and resume and etc. is very important for your to find the next questions. And this kind of, if you have this kind of information, maybe you can easily find your PhD questions in as jobs or as academic questions in some universities. And so as a tips, I would like to give some final one. This is a important thing is, even you get a jobs and even you had the portions or postdoc portions, PhD portions, but you should work hard, because if you are not, if you fail to work hard, the people they are watching you, so you cannot go further. And they are, if they understand or they recognize you are not working or you are not work hard, then they fail, or they are very, I think they are waiting and they check you, and if bad point shows, they are not offer many portions, or sometimes some people also cannot get they are complete their PhDs because the supervisor is not happy with that work. Because some, even in Japan also, some people spend more long times to complete their PhD. Some Japanese students, they spend 8 years or 9 years, they cannot complete because they are not work hard. So this is very important. And another one is teamwork. So you are the research is teamwork, because research we must collaborate with others and also your colleagues. So this is very important, and please continue your work with the teamwork. And another one is communications. Communicate with others very well, and also be patient and listen to others and help. So this is the tips which I gave to be a good scientist and good researcher in the future. And so I would like to thank you for listening and your kind attentions. So thank you very much. If you have some questions, please ask anytime. So you can contact me, or now you can have questions. Please ask.
Yeah, so as we have come to the end of the presentation, so we can go for our Q&A session. So if you have any questions to be asked from the speaker, so feel free to unmute yourself and ask, or you can send a message to the chat. So hope you all get the next.
Sir, some of the questions that we have
Yeah.
have a clear idea as to what type of research we should follow during our undergraduate degree itself. Like, yeah.
So you're asking about the what kind of research you had to do during your undergraduate degree, isn't it?
Like whether we have to have a clear idea of the research we are hoping to follow after the undergraduate degree. Like, do we have to have an idea before, like during the undergraduate level itself?
So I think this is which I point out in presentation. Actually, this one is for finally. I think even you do the undergraduate degree, or after you complete the undergraduate degree, you are if your plans to go to higher studies or you want to complete your PhDs. Actually, this is this your undergraduate degree and PhD degree is very far. I think because sometimes we are doing PhD undergraduate degree is different thing, but PhD is totally different. For my case, actually, I did undergraduate degree is some kind of electronic works, but PhD I did completely the physics based on the material science. So these two is not exactly very parallel, but I had an opportunity because my experience during my undergraduate degree, that experience is very important to achieve my PhD work and my master degree work. So because of everything depend on the your opportunity, because undergraduate degree, so you don't have opportunity to perform some material science, or it's maybe some kind of very simple research. So maybe even that experience, I think, is very useful. Please consider about that point.
Okay, thank you, sir. The next question is, how does doing a master's or MPhil after following a special undergraduate degree benefits when doing a PhD? Is it mandatory to follow them before doing a PhD?
It's depend on the case by case, because if you are going to the some for example, I came Japan and actually I for my undergraduate degree, so in Sri Lanka I complete my undergraduate and then I moved to the Japan. So I did some research work before I start my master degree. Some research experience is important, and some because in Japan usually they even you move to the Japan as a master's student, before you start masters you must do the some you must spend a 6 month as a research student, because the Japanese they wants to give some experience for the like making researcher. So I think this may be the it's depend on the where you go. Because in USA, I think they focus mainly study during master degree, but when they move to the master's to PhD, they consider the research. But in Japan, so they consider research from the master degree and continue until PhD. So this is a difference from the, I think, countries, and also their I think system in the higher study. Okay.
Okay, thank you, sir. And the next question is, what is the process to follow if someone is interested in doing research at Spring 8 faculty?
You mean the Miss Spring?
Yes, sir. Uh,
Actually, SpringNet is actually this is a research facility. You asking about the working in the research or in SpringNet? What kind? I'm sorry, I didn't get it. Can you tell me that question again?
Hello.
Yeah.
Um, I'm doing A level in bio stream.
Okay.
I don't get any degree yet, but I want to be an astronaut in NASA. So I
Oh,
want to
good.
do many researches. So can I do any researches as equal to PhD?
From the I think the usual way is that in the if you are following the regular process, you must complete the undergraduate degree, because it's depend on the for the PhD. If you for example, if you for the go to NASA as a, because NASA, if they offer some portion for the A level students, maybe you can easily go. But I think usually the researcher, if they offer some research job, even in our institute also, if they offer the research job, they expected PhD degree. For PhD degree, but if you enroll the PhD degree, they have some requirements. For example, Japan actually, for the PhD degrees, they request complete the master degree. So master degree, you need to complete the undergraduate degree. So this is, I think, the situations in their academic, I think, the programs. So maybe, so after completing maybe the A-levels, maybe you need to enter the university for the undergraduate degree. Maybe even if it's general degree or special degree, maybe it's not a problem. But I think for the undergraduate degree, is important to go to the next step. That means a master degree. But some universities in maybe the Australia or UK, they offer PhDs directly from the undergraduate. But in Japan, so they need the masters to complete goes to the PhD. Yeah, I think this is a process depending on the where you want to go. In NASA, I think if they hire the PhDs, so you have to complete the PhD degree. But if you have some offer in the below levels, like A level under, maybe it's very few. But sometimes, in case by case, if you are expert in some field in the even in the A level stage, maybe there may be some
Uh,
opportunity. But it's depend on mostly the general degree
Thank you, sir. Sir, now I'm doing some researches on my own, and I'm participated some researches and become a citizen scientist in NASA and
Okay.
Sri Lanka. So,
Okay.
how can I easily join with NASA and become a scientist, sir? Because I don't get a university entrance yet. I don't
Okay.
know if it true if it come the chance will the chance come me or not. So I want
Okay.
to do researches and become a scientist on my own. So can I get can I become a scientist without a degree?
I think during my presentation, I also give some kind of idea about that, because if you are follow the because my focus is the mainly the academic degree holders or academic degree followers. But in the same time, if you are not enrolled with the university, but you are interesting about the research, this is what I said during my presentation. I explained that you have the opportunity to literature survey, and you can study the astrology, and you can read the many I think the open access papers. If you have money, so you can buy the papers. But if you are not such a the I think you can free open access journal. And please do the self study of the such a you are interested area like cosmology. Please study the cosmology. And then please maybe you have chance to make us some kind of special area, focus on the special area, so which you can easily do by not the experiment, but by the theoretical calculations. For theoretical calculations, you need a reader and gather the all information related the I think theories. maybe that's the way you can. Maybe this is if you successfully handle one kind of new informations about that area, maybe you can write a research manuscript and perform some calculations. I gave some example, but it is material science. But you can do some simulations about some new things. Maybe easily you maybe there's some opportunity to publish some your own research paper, because I know some people, they do the research by own and they publish their papers in the journals. It's maybe the free journals. Maybe you can publish in free journal, but it doesn't matter. So I know that Nobel Prize winner in Japan, gallium nitride, the blue LED, he did his paper almost not in the high impact journal. He's a Japanese. He published their papers in Japanese journal. So this is it's
Sir,
not a problem.
thank you, sir. And
Yeah.
yes, sir. Where can I find? Where can I publish my own journal, sir? I mean, where can I
So
get
that's
chance?
yeah. I think this is there, which I say that you can find such a free journals in the through the searching by internet. So maybe please find your special area. So maybe there are some free journals, because even I'm during my master's degree, actually we publish all our journals in the free journal, because usually if you go to some journals you have to pay some money, but easily we can find some free journals. You just submit your papers, and if your writing is good, is still English is good, and your concept is good, then they will accept your publish in the journals, their journals. So,
Sir, is
yeah.
this your present? I watch your presentation. Is this a method to write a correct research paper? Am I right?
Sorry.
I watched your presentation. Is
Yeah.
this a method to write a correct and perfect research paper, sir? I
Perfect.
mean,
Yeah.
sorry, sir. I mean, if I want to write a research paper, must I follow in these methods? That you showed in the
Ah,
presentation.
actually, this is a normal, I think, the usual process, but it's not the perfect. It's not the only way. So maybe you can bypass some steps, no problem, because science is free. So easily you can make your own methods, no problem. So this is usually if you in our material science or some experiment, it's depend on what you are feel like. You are theoreticians or experimentals. This is also a difference of the process. Please follow that one, no problem. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, sir. Can I get a job under the scientist, sir?
There's maybe a chance that I said that I think in the world there's many for the scientists, but sometimes they are not request PhDs. Most of the case they request PhD, but I think there's some opportunity. Please search the jobs which I show some examples. Maybe internet, so easily you can find such a job portals to find a scientist job without a PhD. I hope that there may be some chance. Please check.
Okay, thank you, sir. So I think we are done with our Q&A session. So it's up to you, Amasha.
Thank you, Sahan. Now, as we have come to the end of the session, I would like to thank Dr. Rosantha Kumara for joining us today in spite of his busy schedule and for all the knowledge he shared with us. I'm sure everyone was able to benefit from the session immensely. Also, I would like to thank Professor Kalinka Mudali, the Dean of the Science Faculty, as well as other personnel helping us to conduct the session successfully. Special word of thanks to Dr. Aruna Ranavira, the Senior Treasurer of the Society, for the constant support and guidance in making this event a success. Over to you, Sahan.
Last but not least, on behalf of Physics Student Society of University of Kelaniya, I thank all of you who have joined us today, and we hope you all had a very productive evening and was able to get the maximum out of this session. So stay tuned for more details on our next 2 sessions of the webinar series on how to write your thesis, abstract or article, and how to do oral presentation of your research effectively. So thank you again. Stay safe.